Hello, and welcome to part 2 of our GoToTraining series, Scheduling a Class. In this video, we will log into GoToTraining, create a class or training, create a description for that class, set the beginning and ending dates for that class, make sure the class ID does not change between classes, edit the class title, copy the link for students to be used in D2L or some other form of class communication such as email, create a poll to be used in the class later, and log out of GoToTraining. The first thing we want to do is go to www.gototraining.com, and we'll do that now. And here's the GoToTraining website, and here's the login link. So we just click that. And you're going to use the email you had me set up for the account. For this demonstration, I'll use my temp account, and we'll type in the password. And click Login. Once logged in, we'll go ahead and schedule a training. Under Schedule a Training, you'll notice we have title. You can put anything here. I would recommend you put something that's recognizable to your students and yourself. Perhaps the class ID, the date of the class, or any special title specific to that class. So we'll call this Class 1, Tuesday, Thursday at 5 o'clock. Down here in the description, you can also put anything you want as a description. Again, I would recommend something that's easily recognizable to your students and yourself, perhaps what you have on your syllabus, or the class description on the class sign-up sheet and banner. We'll just put the occurs switch here is a pull down. You can see you have options of once, weekly, monthly, or custom. I would recommend weekly. Your start date is going to be the start of the semester or when your first class is. So we'll just say this is May 7th is the first class. Start time is going to be 5 o'clock. And end time is going to be 6:30. The end date would be the last day of class. So we'll just say July 17th. And that means this class ID that's going to be generated will be available to use Tuesday, May 7th through Wednesday, July 17th. Of course, we're Eastern time zone. Right here at registration type is where you select and make sure that training ID is never going to change. You want the same training ID for all your classes. So you want to make sure participants register once to attend all sessions is selected. If you select participants register for individual sessions, your training IDs will change and your students will have to register for each class session. So after that's done, we'll go ahead and hit schedule, and you can see training is scheduled. You can see I can share the information here. I can schedule a similar training. So if I have 2 or 3 classes that are quite similar in title and description, I can click that link and it will basically copy most of the information, some simple edits to the title or the description, and it'll make a class very simply. I can cancel the training or class, or I can start. Now down here, set up your training, you notice you can hit edit, and that will edit the title or description. Let's go ahead and edit the title. I don't want a comma here. I want a dash. And I can hit save. And you'll notice that changes the title. You can see here all the dates and times that class would normally happen. However, you can use that class ID anytime you need between the starting date and the finishing date. So you're not fixed to these set dates and times. Down here, share your training, invite your attendees. This is the link that you would give your students in D2L or email to sign up to be able to join your class. What this link actually does is go to a GoToTraining sign-up sheet where they put in their name, their email address, and then it sends them a link that they can use to sign on each time the class starts. The reason it asks for names and email addresses is for tracking purposes. Some of the either polls or tests or reports use that information. Also, you have a link here for email registration URL and copy training information. Here is the training ID for your class. If you have somebody that didn't sign up, or you want to give a training ID to somebody, or perhaps a secondary professor wants to sit in on a class, all they need is this training ID and they can join your session by going to www.gototraining.com, tracking registrants. Right here you can check how many people have signed up for your class. Here you can edit the email settings for the class or training. The default is it will email every attendee an hour before the class starts, or the training, as it is called here. It will send an email 1 day before the training, and it will send an email 1 week before the training. You can edit this here. And of course, you can change the settings to whatever you want. It, by default, will send all the emails and any replies to the emails the system gets for your class to your login email. If you wish to change that, you can click the edit button and change the email address here. To add a poll or test to your class that you can use later on during your class, create a poll. So we're going to edit a poll, and we're going to click on Create Poll and Create New. And you can see you have different choices here. Multiple choice 1 answer, multiple choice multiple answers. We'll just choose 1 answer. We'll go ahead and ask the question. Is the moon made of cheese? And we'll go ahead and let them answer yes, no, maybe, or it's a trap. So we have our poll down. We're gonna go ahead and click Save. And now you see we have our poll available. I'm gonna go ahead and create another poll. Create new. Let's do, what is the moon made of? It's following on that theme. Put cheese and rock. And you notice I can manipulate the order of the poll questions. So we'll go back to Manage Training. And now you see I have my two polls. Let's go ahead and edit a test. So we're going to go ahead and click on Add Test, Create New, enter title. I'll just call this Test 1. And the description or instructions will be answer as best you can. The question will be, why is the sky blue? And you can see the choices. You can see here we could add another answer and select which one is right. That's the closest. We'll go to Save, and you can see I have Test 1 here. We'll go back to Manage Training, and that basically completes setting up the class. It's set up, and you can email or put this link on D2L, and students can start signing up for the class. If you go to My Trainings, you can see your scheduled class is here. The base times are here, how many registrants are signed up for the class, and you can start the class. So thank you for watching this video, part 2 in our GoToTraining series, Scheduling a Class.